Good, buddy. I can't. I'm filming. Oh, dude.
You there to trip us? Nice
They're
try.
looking good. Really good.
You have competition.
Good evening, parents, grandparents, friends, teachers, trustees, and members of the class of 2016. Each year, as I make these introductory remarks at graduation, I am always struck by how new and fresh each ceremony seems. Yes, there are rituals that recur in every ceremony. However, what is different is you, the class of 2016. For those of us who work and live in schools, there really is no repetition, since we see you, the students, as individuals, new to us and new to this moment. Even though we have known you for many years, you will always be new to us because of the nature of being a student and the nature of growth and the progress we have seen in you every year. And this is directed at many of you. Are you the little 3-year-old child I met 15 years ago? Are you the 8-year-old, or the 10-year-old, or the 15-year-old, or the 17-year-old? You are all of those put together in the person you have become. Each of you speaks to us in your own voice, in your own identity, and in your own aspirations. You are never the same. This is why, for us, every school year is a new experience, bringing with it new opportunities, new visions, new accomplishments, difficulties, and triumphs. Schools never become stale because of you, who are growing and developing every minute. This energy on your part keeps your teachers young. It is fair to say that as a class you have demonstrated genuine concern for each other. In fact, I have observed so many acts of friendship, kindness, and affection among all of you that I am deeply impressed by the depth of your feelings for each other. You are thinkers, artists, writers, mathematicians, musicians, scientists, and leaders. And most important of all, you are wonderful human beings, and the world needs you. And I'm not just saying that. The world needs young adults like you to insist that it be honest and genuine. We are now facing a grave crisis in our moral and linguistic realities. Far too often we see and hear in the media language being used that has no correspondence with reality. We hear facts being dismissed. We hear realities turned into fantasies. We hear truth turned into lies. We hear rumors turned into truth. Our public discourse has lost the connection between words and truth. Just because someone in public life says something doesn't make it true. And this is where you come in. Your job is to think critically, to evaluate what you hear and read, to demand, yes, demand that words correspond to the truth. You have a right to live in a world in which reality and truth are valued. Now, everyone has to agree with every idea, but everyone does have to agree that we are discussing reality and not fantasy. Make your world the way you want it to be. Use the critical thinking skills that you have acquired here at Garden to support your own lives and the life of the community in which you live. Demand authenticity, not reality TV fabrications, but genuine authenticity. Make your own lives authentic, and it follows that your community will reflect that authenticity. We have often discussed these issues many times in class. Now, move them out into the world. Hold fast to what you believe, to what you desire, and to what you dream. Never forget what the philosopher, the rock and roller said back in the 60s. Lose your dreams, and you will lose your mind. Never lose your dreams, use your minds, and demand that others use their minds as well. Congratulations to each of you. I miss you already.
And to thank you all for attending our graduation. Support is a big factor in getting us here in the first place. So thank you to the families, friends, and teachers that have supported and continue to support us in everything that we do. Now, I, as Salutatorian, am basically the spokesperson for the commencement of the ceremony. I would therefore like to talk about the commencement of our lives after graduation. About half of us are adults, according to the law, and many family members and teachers who watched us grow up refuse to admit that. This, along with the fact that we are going to college in a few months, means that some changes are in order. First, there are responsibilities, and I'm talking about more than just learning to do our own laundry or getting our own insurance plans. I'm talking about the responsibility to ourselves and to the people supporting us to do what is best for ourselves and for our loved ones. We're not kids who sat by for 4 years and watched things happen around us. Our school doesn't allow that. Each of us, whether directly or indirectly, has contributed to the school, and for the most part, to the outside community. We're a class full of presidents and vice presidents, of scholars and artists, of volunteers and musicians and athletes. We're a class who sees problems, complains about them for a while, and then ultimately tries to do something about them. We're people who thrive in small communities, but are inept in large ones, and we're people who, I believe, can ultimately change lives for the better. How we'll go about doing this will be different for each of us. There are people in my class who I've seen help lives on an individual level and people who have influenced lives on a larger scale. The former from mostly personal experiences, the latter from seeing projects and like events get done because one or two people took initiative. I'm confident in my classmates' abilities to accept anything that life throws their way, and I've pretty much grown up with all of them and hope that will continue to grow. I remember us in 7th grade with our mindsets, outlooks, and attitudes, and we're basically the same people, but we're so much more now. In 6 years, Garden has become a second home to me. And so these people are basically my family. And now it's time to leave home, to say goodbye, and to begin our own journeys. It's bittersweet, but I believe that we're ready. And I hope that they feel the same way. So again, thank you for joining us, and welcome to the closing of one door and the opening of another.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome, Dr. Murata, faculty, administration, family, and friends to the commencement ceremony for the class of 2016. After a long day at work, thank you for taking 2 hours of your Tuesday night to be here. I am honored to be here speaking as a student for the last time tonight. The culmination of 15 long, rather short years has finally come to fruition. Being president of Garden School, it is only fitting that within my graduation speech, I focus on the theme of leadership. But before that, I'd like to ask you to reminisce with me for a short moment. I vaguely remember that Monday morning, around 8:30, when I took my first steps into Garden. I was only 3 years old, a mere baby. I didn't know anything about Garden, let alone the amazing teachers I'd later meet, and most importantly, how I would become part of the Garden family. When I walked into Garden, I didn't know I'd meet these 4 special people. These people had patience, intelligence, and the love and care that were able to withstand my loud, and I mean very loud cries as I entered Garden filled with fear. Miss Ogello, Mrs. Reyes, Miss A, and Mrs. Stiga. How could I ever forget them? Without them, and of course the help of many others, I wouldn't be where I am today. Most people say the key to sending children off on the pathway to success all starts with the development of a great foundation. You see, my dad always told me that life is somewhat like building a house. What's the first and most important step in building a house? Having a great foundation. School is the first step. I know Garden has provided us with the knowledge and skill necessary to lead in this society. Leadership brings to mind a variety of images. For example, a political leader pursuing a passionate personal cause, or an explorer cutting a path through the jungle for the rest of his group to follow. In my eyes, and in the eyes of my peers, the teachers we have had here in our time at Garden are the perfect examples of great leaders. A true leader isn't someone who acts selfishly. In fact, it's the exact opposite. A leader uses his or her experience and knowledge to guide his or her followers to achieve a goal. Over the years, the teachers have instilled within us the wisdom needed to go far in life and achieve. Not everyone was born a leader, although everyone has the potential to be a leader. Start off small. There will be hurdles in your life. Just because the situation isn't going as planned, remember, only you can make it worse or better. If we learn to change our approach when struggling to achieve something, giving up does not become an option. Who said you have to be the best at everything you do? Not being athletic, smart, or talented enough doesn't mean you can't play a sport, make the honor roll, or perform. If you believe you can't do something because you aren't good enough, you're holding yourself back from the endless possibilities life has to offer you. Whatever it is, you have to really want it. Get excited, build the anticipation, but most importantly, remember not to hold yourself back. Take risks, but always remember to look at them from different perspectives. A wise teacher once told us, don't just look at the trees, stand back and look at the whole forest. This wise teacher is Mrs. Elkin, who's been teaching us this since the 9th grade. To quote another teacher, in this case, in the world of boxing, the late great legend and cultural icon Muhammad Ali once said, "He who is not courageous enough to take risks will accomplish nothing in life." Risks are dangerous. They'll come with different outcomes every time. But just know that every outcome is no means to give up, and I know that is something our class does. We never give up. Everyone on this stage has the ability to lead. They need the belief that they can achieve that leadership role, the belief that they can lead, and the belief that it can happen, and it will happen. So, as I said before, I have been at Gardner for 15 years, and this is the last time I will be speaking here as a student. I still don't know how I feel about that. Class of 2016, congratulations. Get ready, because the next chapter starts in a few moments. Thank you very much.
Pleasure to present the book When Breath Becomes Art by Paul Kalanithi to my son Nathan Houghton Aragon. Nathan will be attending Stony Brook University in the fall. Congratulations.
Good evening. Congratulations to the class of 2016. I wish you much luck, but please come back. Galas are for alums. Welcome to the Alumni Association. It is my pleasure tonight to give the Salutatorian Award. I am pleased to present the last painting of Sarah DeVoe by Dominic Smith to Caitlin Walker. Salutatorian 2016. Caitlin will attend Bishop University in Quebec. A copy of this book will be placed in the library in her honor.
And the faculty for all the hard work and dedication that you put into this school. I would also like to thank all of my family and friends for always being with me throughout my journey that I've just completed. Throughout my years at school, success has become something very important to me, and it's something I would like to talk to you about tonight. To many people, success means having a lot of money, and that's the final outcome. However, I think a lot of people who say this are forgetting about one key factor, and that's happiness. To me, success really means achieving your goals and living the way that you want to live in order to feel satisfaction and happiness. Just because somebody is very rich, this alone doesn't mean that they are successful, because there are many cases where people have more money than they know what to do with, but they are not truly happy. I will say, however, that if it is somebody's long-term goal to be wealthy and that wealth alone leads to their happiness, then that person is successful. One thing that successful people will always do is to take the time to think about what they really want and develop their long-term goals. This is an important step to take because simple thoughts become desires, which will then turn into actions you take in order to achieve your goal. When I think about success, two types of people come to mind. The first type of people are those who react. These people don't really have any long-term goals because they never took the time to think about what they want and never plan things out. All they do is just drift through life and react to whatever life throws at them. Then there are the people who act. These people thought about their goals, planned out a way to achieve them, and strive to do so until they are successful. There is one story of success that always keeps me very optimistic, and it's the story of Mr. Thomas Edison. When he came up with the idea of the light bulb, he had one goal in mind, which was to perfect it and make it work. I saw somewhere that he failed over 10,000 times before he finally succeeded. He went far beyond the point at which most people would give up, but he knew the meaning of success and perseverance, and he would not be satisfied if he failed to make it work. Now, in being named the valedictorian, I can proudly say that I have achieved success in the academic aspect of my life. Throughout my time at Garden, I have kept one personal goal in mind, which was to graduate with the best grades that I could get so that I could enroll in school of my choice. At this point, I am very satisfied with my grades, and I am happy with the opportunities that they opened up for me, which is why I call myself successful. But although I have achieved my goal, I did not get here without failure. There were times in the past where I received very poor grades on quarter averages or on tests, but these were only learning experiences for me. There are many people who succeed, but do not do so without first experiencing failure or very unfavorable odds, and Mr. Edison is a prime example of that. In my opinion, failure and success go hand in hand because sometimes you can't achieve success without failure. Nobody should be afraid of failure because it shows you that you're doing something wrong or that you have to do something in a different way. Whenever I received a poor grade, I took it as a sign that I was doing something wrong, so as a result, I would work to improve my study habits. Each time I failed, I improved something about myself or the way I work, and this actually further set me up for success and led me to where I am today. At this moment, I will start to shift my focus towards a new goal, which is to get into medical school. This will be one of the hardest things to accomplish, but I know that it can be done because I've developed a strong desire to succeed, and I won't let anything stand in my way. If there is anything that I learned at Garden that I will always remember, it's that no goal is too large to achieve, and with detailed planning and a strong desire, anything can be accomplished. I have developed my method and many ideas on success over the past years here at Garden, and I will take this with me for the rest of my life. I will apply these ideas in college and in every aspect of my life thereafter. In bidding farewell, there is one last point that I want to emphasize, and I want to make it primarily for my fellow classmates. It's that you can only be successful by doing what makes you happy and living the way that you want to live. I wish success for each of you in anything that you do. Best of luck. Thank you, everyone.
Nathan H. Aragon. Taylor Arsenal. Antonio Bognario. Cesar Carvajal. Zachary Gideon Lynch. William Mahoney. Valentina Moyen. Cheyenne Romero. Velez. Caitlin Walker. Ching Yu Wu. Ting Ji. Young Ya Zhu. Ladies and gentlemen, the newest alumni of the Garden School.